All right, we're going to cover 11.3, talking about arcs and central angles, and this week we're covering 11.3 in two parts. So today we're going to talk about the arc measure, and the next day we will talk about the arc length. So let's talk about what an arc is to start here. An arc is really just part of a circle. So in this case here, an arc would span from A to B, and one way we measure these arcs is in respect to the angle that is formed with the middle of the circle or the center of the circle. So the two endpoints of the arc, AB, dictate how essentially big the arc is, and if you follow those points to the center of the circle, that would make an angle. That's called the central angle, and that angle measure, 95 degrees in this case, would be considered the arc measure. So the way you would see that notation written is you will see something along the lines of an M, standing for measure, of arc AB. So that's going to look like AB with an arc over it. And in that case is going to equal 95 degrees. So how we measure arcs is through the central angle. There's two types of arcs we're going to work with. We're going to work with minor arcs and major arcs. A minor arc is less than 180 degrees. So it's less than half of the circle. And when we label a minor arc, we use 2 points to label it. So in this case, the minor arc would be AB, 2 points. AB has a measure of 95 degrees, which is less than 180 or less than half the circle. A major arc is going to be an arc that has more than 180 degrees. That is going to use 3 points to label. And so a major arc, if you follow A to B around the long way, it's going to go through C. So now we're talking about from A to B all the way around that circle. More than halfway is going to be a major arc, where that minor arc is just from A to B less than 180 degrees. Okay, so the major arc in this case would be represented in a couple different ways. You could represent ACB or BCA. And all the way around is 360, so the remaining I think would be 265. And I guess if we're talking about the measure, I should put a little M there. The measure of those arcs equals 265. One thing that I didn't put on here that I realized I should have would be the term semicircle. So a semicircle is essentially half of a circle. And half of a circle would be an 180-degree central angle. So semicircle would be the term for halfway around. So if I took this and I just extended it, made a diameter out of it, right? The two endpoints would be on a diameter. Semicircle would be halfway around with a straight line, 180 degrees central angle. Okay, we're going to take a look at some arcs and their measures and an arc addition postulate. So we have this written out in a slightly different way. I have M arc AB In the book, you'll see M and then AB like this. And so that refers to the central angle corresponding to the arc AB, which in this case is going to be 85 degrees. BC, if you go from B to C, that's going to be right here at 165 degrees. AC going to be from there to there, which corresponds to the angle of 110 degrees. So we'd say the measure of arc AC is 110 degrees. Now we get to ABC, and so if I'm looking at ABC, now we're talking about a major arc. So to get from A to B to C, I got to go A through B all the way to C. So that's made up of two different angles. This is where that arc addition postulate is going to come in, where I have to combine those two angles to get the major arc of 250 degrees. Okay. Arc ACB, so A to C to B, I'll kind of color code these. So ACB, the orange one, it is important which order you go in. So A through C all the way to B is going to be a total of 165 plus 110, which totals 275. And one more, let's go with green, BAC, so B to A to C. It's going to be from B to A to C. I just said that. Yep, B to A C. That's going to cover 85 and 110 for a total of 195. So sometimes you have to total a couple different arc measures to get some of the major arcs. The last little part to today will be just including a, hey, what if one is missing? Right? I mean, we got one right here and it's missing. Well, you know what? They all have to add up to 360. So if I add all of those numbers together, let's see, I'll ask my watch. 85 plus 80 plus 75 plus 82.
The answer is 322.
322. So if I take 360 minus, oh, my pen's dying. Oh, no. Oh, my pen is dying. I'll have to use my finger. It's going to be crusty. I'm going to disconnect the pencil, don't I? All right. So if I take 360 minus 322, I'll get 38 degrees. So 38 degrees there is going to be that missing one. And that's one way to do it. Just figure out what's missing, and then you can add them all up. So arc AB, no surprise there, minor arc from there to there. That's going to be 85. B to D to A. So B to D to A. So that's going to be a long one. B, D, A. We go all the way through there. B, D, A. I don't need C or E, but it goes through them. And that is actually going to be all four of those added. There's another way too. It's just missing one little part. So I could go 360 take away 85. And that'd be a little bit easier than adding up these four values. So either way it works out. So take away 85. That would be like taking away 100 and adding 15. So 275. And the last one, CE, it is a 2-letter arc, so that means it's going to be less than 180. So from C to E, the short way around, not the long way around, is going to be a total of 75 plus 82, or 157. So there you go. That's a little bit about arcs and their arc measure. And arc measure refers to the central angle from the endpoints of the arc to the center. And if it's a minor arc, it has 2 letters, less than 180. Major arc has 3 letters, more than 180 degrees. So there you go.